Mr. Secretary, I'd also like to thank you for your service and what you described as a very ambitious set of goals and agenda that is matched with the muscle necessary to implement it. And I know that part of what we're considering today is the addition to the muscle of resources that you can allocate towards achieving these goals. And I also want to thank you personally and your undersecretaries for their responsiveness on issues that we've brought to their attention. And case in point for us is the 19.5 full-time mental health positions that have gone unfilled for far too long in El Paso. Since bringing that to your attention, we're down to 11, which is progress, and we'd like to see it get down to 0, of course, and would appreciate your help with that. Another issue that we brought to your attention is the poor performance of the regional office in WACO serving benefit claims throughout Texas, and including the 80,000 veterans who live in El Paso. And as you know, I think the average wait time is 439 days. 80% of those claims are over 125 days. So from the new resources being requested in the President's budget, how will you use those in regional offices like WACO to improve performance?
I'm going to call on Secretary Hickey here to talk about WACO. I would just say, Congressman, if you recall, back in 2010, we made a decision to provide Agent Orange service connection for Vietnam veterans 40 years ago who were experiencing 3 new diseases. That increased our workload. WACO was one of those sites where a large number of those claims were brokered. And as a result, they had an increased workload, unlike others. And so it took them 2 years to work through that, and it slows the other claims processing. Unfortunate, no veteran should wait. But again, the decision made in 2010 was also the right decision to take care of Vietnam veterans. That's sort of the background on WACO. Let me ask Secretary Hickey to address your details about how it looks going forward.
Congressman, WACO is actually in the process of going through several of the transformation initiatives. To start with, we are running all of the individuals who are new to their positions through the new challenge training, which allows people to be new employees coming into the system with that new challenge training to do 150% more claims at a 30% increase in quality than their predecessors could, effectively making them a much more helpful rater or claims evidence gatherer earlier in their career. Second thing I will tell you is we have put quality review teams inside of WACO, as we've done in every one of our other regional offices, reducing the amount of cycle time we have for errors that we catch downstream. I can tell you nationally we've reduced the number of errors we've found on our exams by 12%, and I can tell you nationally we've reduced the number of errors we found on our letters by 23%. Those are both things that take time and create some of those long wait periods for our veterans that we want to get rid of, so we do it right the first time by them. The other thing I will tell you is we have put WACO into our new organizational model, as we have done for now all of our regional offices 9 months ahead of schedule. They now have that express lane, that core lane, that special operations lane. They had a number of claims that could have been done in that express lane. Once we sort of broke them into the lanes, we could see that, lift that work that is faster and easier to do because it has just 1 or 2 medical issues. They are pushing right now on that express lane really hard, and they've staffed that lane to make sure it happens. The last thing I'll say is my appreciation to the state of Texas, the Texas Veterans Commission, for the partnership that they are providing us in bringing us in more fully developed claims. That's where they help us go find all that evidence we need to make that decision. They've been particularly helpful in finding private medical records, and my appreciation to the state for what they are contributing and helping us.
Thank you for your answer and your attention to this. And as I've said before in previous hearings, we look forward to working with you collaboratively to make sure that we can do a better job out of WACO. And I know I have very limited time, Mr. Secretary, but I am interested in hearing your response to how we can protect low and moderate income veterans from the negative consequences of chain CPI, and how we make sure that we still take care of them and don't introduce an undue hardship to them and their families.
Congressman, I would just say, and here again, it's consistent with what the President has done elsewhere, and that's the desire to protect the vulnerable populations. The proposal excludes beam-tested veterans' pensions, which are provided to low-income wartime veterans who are age 65 or older, or who are under age 65 but remain totally and permanently disabled as a result of conditions unrelated to their military service. The budget proposal also excludes certain veterans' education benefit programs, for example, post 9/11 GI Bill, Montgomery GI Bill, active duty, because inflationary adjustments for these programs are decided by the National Center for Educational Statistics. Okay.
Dr. Rowe.
Thank the Chairman, and thank you all, General Shinseki, for being here, and all the veterans that are here today. And again, to echo, thank you all for your service all the way in the room. You mentioned, and as I read your testimony last night, that you wanted to increase access to veterans' benefits and services, and of course eliminate the claims backlog and homelessness. I would add another, and that is to reduce the alarming rate of suicide among our active duty veterans and active duty military and